The Mikan era was in a 6-foot lane. Then when we went to the next era, it was in the 12-foot lane because Wilt changed it from a 6-foot lane to. That's why all of those rebounds by all of the guys in the 40s and 50s were so high, because shooting percentages are so low, and then the fact that there were so many rebounds and they were close to the basket. Then all of a sudden, boom, we got to make it out here now because of Kareem and what these guys are doing. We want to make the game easier, so we open it up to 16 feet. Well, with those guys, not only now did they have to extend their game in the post-ups and what you were running for them, but in order for them to get the rebounds, and they had to now, really work, and it's difficult at 16 feet, okay? I don't mean to, sound too much X's and O's, but I have a great respect for all of those teams during those eras, just like all of those players, you see? And I said this the other day when I talked to the NBA people, and I said, look, LeBron James is the best player today. Stop getting in arguments that he's better than Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan's better than LeBron James, so forth and that. And then the old guys will tell you Oscar Robertson better than both of them. It depends upon who you talk to. And then right away these people, they look at me and I said, wait a second, will you check Oscar's first 5 years in the league? I said, all he averaged added up. Yeah, they gave him a triple-double for 1 year because they would not round off the 9.6, 7, and 8. Just look it up into another 10. Oscar Robertson, when you add it all up, for 5 years averaged 30, 10, and 10 overall. So who's to say Oscar Robertson couldn't get 30 today? And I'll tell you why, and this is what I said to them. I put that hand on your hip, Jack, and you're a guard, and you're a small forward, and I put my hand and call that hand checking with these guys with hands this big, and they move you, and they press you full court, and they put that hand, and then as you start to go by them, start to go by me. Come on. We were able to use that forearm as soon as it's like football. All of a sudden now the defensive halfback can't get you past 5 yards. Why? Because they want more scoring. So today we've got a green light for these guards and small forwards to get to the rim now, and you have to play them perfectly without the hand contact or the forearm. When you talk Oscar Robertson and you talk Michael Jordan, you know what I said to guys, when you don't believe what it was like in the 70s, 80s, will you please watch the documentary on the Detroit bad guys? And nobody got thrown out of those games. And you saw guys flying into the stand. Mike, you were there. Come on. I mean, it was a joke. I mean, today you would, on one hit, you'd be suspended for a month here, okay? And that's why it's hysterical when these guys are bitching about going to the rim. They don't know what it was like to go to the rim in the 70s and 80s because you might not get up again. And then you had to take all of those hits like Jordan and the Gervins and all of the guys that were the big, and Magic and Bird and all these guys. Come on, it was if you were in the 70s and 80s as a coach or a player, the beauty of the game, the IQ of the game, the continuities and the sets that teams ran were just absolutely gorgeous to watch. And then the physical defensive part, you better be running good stuff, Jack, or you're not getting a good shot all night.
In basketball, there are voices that don't need to shout to be heard. They silence the room with truth. Not with controversy or performance, but with experience carved from decades of grind, grit, and greatness. Hubie Brown is one of those voices. A Hall of Fame coach, a masterful analyst, and a witness to every era the NBA has survived. At 90 years old, Hubie doesn't talk for attention, he talks from wisdom. No agendas, no filters, just reality earned through a lifetime in the game. So when he speaks, it's not up for debate, it's a declaration. Calm, clear, and absolute. LeBron James, the best player of today. Michael Jordan, the greatest ever. End of story. Hubie doesn't chase headlines, he delivers perspective. Because to him, greatness isn't measured by advanced stats or viral highlights, it's measured by what your era demanded of you. He's lived through both worlds, Jordan's ruthless age of survival and today's protected, polished generation. Hubie remembers when basketball wasn't just a game, it was a battlefield. Back then, the paint wasn't a runway, it was a war zone. The lane belonged to the toughest, not the flashiest. A handcheck was legal, and a forearm to the chest. That was just solid defense. Today, a light bump earns a whistle and a trip to the free throw line. Hubie Brown can't help but laugh when he hears modern stars complain about physical play. If you think it's tough now, he says, Try attacking the rim in the 80s. One hit and you might not get up. That's the contrast he sees. LeBron James dominates his era, no doubt about it. He's a product of a league designed for offense, where pace and highlights drive the game. But Michael Jordan, he ruled the most punishing era basketball has ever seen. An era where every bucket came with bruises, blood, and respect. And he didn't just survive it, he conquered it. Hubie tells fans, watch the Bad Boys Pistons documentary. See Jordan slammed to the floor by Rodman, Laimbeer, and Mahorn, then watch him get up, again and again, and drop 40 on them. Jordan didn't avoid pain, he weaponized it. And that, Hubie says, is the line between greatness and legend. In Hubie Brown's eyes, Michael Jordan wasn't just a player, he was the blueprint. The benchmark every generation measures itself against. Sure, LeBron owns this era, but Jordan reshaped the very foundation of basketball. He didn't just play within the game, he made the game bend to him. And that, Hubie says, is why the GOAT debate starts and ends with Jordan. Not because of nostalgia, not because of bias, but because of legacy, because of impact that transcends time. The argument about who could dominate in another era is one of sport's favorite what ifs. LeBron in the brutal 90s, Jordan in today's era of pace and space. But Hubie turns that question on its head. It's not about who could adapt, it's about who forced the NBA to adapt around them. LeBron is the master of evolution, a player who's reinvented himself again and again. From explosive rookie to point-forward mastermind to veteran marksman who rules with IQ and precision. But Jordan wasn't evolution, he caused it. He was the disruption, the system shock that redefined what greatness looked like. The NBA literally had to change its rulebook because of Michael Jordan. The handcheck rule. Gone, because defenders needed it just to have a chance at stopping him. Illegal defense. Rewritten, after teams built entire systems just to slow him down. Even the flagrant foul rule was born from the brutal Jordan rules, when the Pistons turned defense into organized punishment. Every chapter of Jordan's career forced the league to evolve, in style, in strategy, in global reach. He didn't just play in the NBA, he transformed it into a worldwide phenomenon. LeBron has thrived in the era Jordan built, the era of global brands, massive media, and player empires. Without Jordan, there is no billion-dollar sneaker culture, no global NBA iconography, no path for stars to rule beyond the court. Jordan didn't adapt to basketball, he made basketball adapt to him. That's the difference between greatness and transcendence. Great players dominate their time. Transcendent ones redefine time itself. So when people ask, could Jordan dominate today? They are missing the real question. Jordan dominated in a league designed to break him. Imagine what he'd do in one designed to protect him. The very rules that protect today's stars exist because of Michael Jordan. The global craze that turned basketball into pop culture, that's his legacy. LeBron adapted to the modern game brilliantly, but Jordan transformed it entirely. And transformation, Hubie Brown says, is the highest form of greatness. When it comes to the business of being great, LeBron has become the CEO of modern basketball. From Spring Hill Entertainment to Liverpool Investments and Hollywood Ventures, he's crafted a powerful blueprint for today's athlete entrepreneur. But Jordan, he was the prototype before anyone even imagined it. When Nike signed him in 1984, they predicted $3 million in sales over 4 years. He blew past that in one. Jordan didn't just sell shoes, it rewrote sports marketing forever. Decades after his last game, the brand still prints billions every year. LeBron's empire stands tall, but it's built on foundations Jordan laid. Without Jordan, there's no athlete as CEO, no billion-dollar sneaker culture, and no global basketball phenomenon. Jordan didn't just change the game, he changed what being great could mean. Michael Jordan didn't follow a business playbook, he created it. His influence wasn't just measured in dollars, it was something deeper, almost spiritual. He didn't need social media to command attention because he was the message. When Jordan walked into a room, the energy shifted. That wasn't branding, that was presence, that was immortality. Kids from Paris to Tokyo to Sao Paulo laced up his shoes, mimicked his moves, and carried his swagger. Jordan didn't just sell sneakers, he sold belief, the idea that greatness was something you could wear, chase, and become. He made winning look effortless, turned competitiveness into cool, and transformed excellence into a lifestyle. LeBron, to his credit, has mastered the tools of his generation, the digital world, global media, entertainment, and empire building. But Jordan, he invented the concept of an athlete as a global brand. The Jumpman isn't just a logo, It's a legacy, a religion in motion. So when people debate who the real CEO of basketball is, there's no hesitation. LeBron is the mogul of his era, but Jordan is the founder, the man who built the entire empire from scratch. Some players built legacies, but only one built a religion. That's the real difference, and it changes everything. Because when the talk turns to greatness, it's never just about stats or championships. It's about who transformed basketball into something sacred. And that answer, time after time, is Michael Jordan. His dominance wasn't just physical, it was psychological. True greatness isn't in the numbers you post or the trophies you lift. It's in the fear you plant deep inside your opponents. LeBron James earns respect, admiration, even love. But respect isn't fear. Fear is when your presence rewrites the game before the ball even moves. When players already know how the story ends. That's what Jordan was, the walking embodiment of inevitability. Ask Clyde Drexler, who watched his shot at glory burn under MJ's fire in '92. Ask Charles Barkley, who confessed after the '93 finals that it was the first time he'd met someone better. Ask Patrick Ewing, whose championship hopes were buried year after year by the same man in red. Ask Reggie Miller, who battled Jordan shot for shot, only to see him bury daggers that silenced entire arenas. LeBron James builds others up, but Jordan tore opponents down. He didn't just chase victory, he demanded dominance. LeBron's rivals lost games, Jordan's rivals lost faith. That's the real divide.